The Italian Riviera, one of the most beautiful coastlines in Europe. Turquoise water, pastel-colored villages climbing up cliffsides. The kind of place people save all year to visit. In the autumn of 1997, something began happening along that coastline that no one could explain. Bodies started appearing in hotel rooms, in casino car parks, on the roads between Genoa and the French border, and eventually on trains. Women found dead in train compartments, shot at close range. Italy had never seen anything like it. The newspapers gave him two names: Il Mostro della Liguria, the Monster of Liguria, and L'Assassino dei Treni, the killer on the trains. He has been defined by some newspapers as the worst serial killer in the history of Italy.
Donato Bilancia was born on the 10th of July 1951 in Potenza, a city in the deep south of Italy in the Basilicata region. He was a chronic bedwetter until age 10 or 12, and his mother shamed him by placing his wet mattress on the balcony where it could be seen by the neighbors. The humiliation was public and relentless. His aunt compounded it further, shaming him in front of his cousins. He grew up convinced he was defective. He drifted into petty crime as a young man: theft, fraud, a conviction in 1990 for assaulting a sex worker. A dapper dresser who looked, one journalist noted, more like Dustin Hoffman than Italy's worst serial killer. He lived alone. He gambled compulsively. He lost enormous amounts of money and came back for more. And in October 1997, something tipped.
Bilancia was invited to a card game by a friend, a man he trusted. The game was rigged. He lost. It was an act of war. He strangled the friend who had lured him to the table. Then he found the man who ran the rigged game and shot him. He shot his wife too. He emptied their safe. Bilancia later said these first killings gave him a taste for murder. Over the following weeks, Bilancia kept going. He followed a jeweler home, shot him, shot his wife, emptied their safe. He robbed and murdered a money changer. Then, 2 months later, he killed a night watchman. Italian police were completely lost for months. There was no pattern. Different genders, different ages, different professions, different locations spread across northern Italy. The murders occurred across Riviera towns like Savona and Imperia. Authorities treated many cases as isolated incidents. The only thing connecting them, invisible to investigators at first, was a single .38 caliber revolver. And the man who carried it everywhere he went. In early 1998, Bilancia changed his hunting ground. He began riding the trains along the Riviera coast. He would enter a compartment, sit with a woman traveling alone, and before the next station, shoot her. Then walk to another carriage, sit down, wait for the train to arrive. 6 women were killed on trains along the Ligurian coast. One more victim, Lorena Castro, managed to escape and raise the alarm. Women were publicly warned to avoid traveling alone on Riviera trains. The fear was total. The coastline that had always meant beauty and leisure now meant danger.
The breakthrough did not come from a witness. It came from a bullet. One gun across all these separate murders. Suddenly, the separate files became one file. Suddenly, the scattered map markers were connected. One man. Police began building a profile. Based on the description of the black Mercedes one of his prostitute victims was seen entering the night she was killed, police considered Bilancia suspect number 1 and followed him for 10 days. They collected his DNA from cigarette butts and a coffee cup, matching it to DNA found at crime scenes. On the 6th of May, 1998, Donato Bilancia was arrested at his home in Genoa. His revolver was seized.
Donato Bilancia confessed. He talked for 2 full days. 17 diagrams, hand-drawn, each one a crime scene, showing where he stood, where the victim was, where the exit was. Calm, methodical, almost architectural in their precision. He confessed to murders police didn't yet know were connected to him. During his confession, Bilancia revealed a chilling lack of empathy and a disturbing desire for control. Psychologists who examined him described him as a narcissistic sociopath with a compulsive need for dominance. He did not attend his own trial. He watched the proceedings on closed-circuit television in his cell at Chiavari prison. When the verdict came, he shrugged and sucked on a cigarette.
On the 12th of April, 2000, Donato Bilancia was sentenced to 13 terms of life imprisonment, plus 20 additional years for the attempted murder of the survivor. The judge ordered that he never be released. In prison, Bilancia became a model prisoner. He studied. In 2016, he obtained a diploma in accounting. He used his disability benefits to sponsor a child with Down syndrome. On the 17th of December 2020, Donato Bilancia died in his cell at Padua prison. The cause was COVID-19. He was 69 years old. Right before his death, he asked to talk with a Catholic priest. He asked God to meet his victims for a moment, to say he was sorry.
17 people dead in 6 months. 9 women, 8 men. Bilancia became a synonym for fear among the people living along the Italian Riviera. He didn't have a type. He didn't have a ritual. He had a revolver and a rage. The Riviera still runs its trains along that coastline. The sea is still turquoise. The pastel villages still climb the cliffs.